Now at 10, we're tracking the latest as Beryl continues to inch closer to Texas.
People across the state are bracing for impact. This is new video out of Corpus Christi. People boarding up homes and businesses today and stocking up on supplies. And tonight, evacuation orders are in effect in Refugio County, as well as for visitors in Port Aransas, who are being told to leave the island by tomorrow at noon. We have live team coverage tonight with 3 of our KENS 5 meteorologists tracking Beryl.
That's right. Paul Mireles is in Port Lavaca. Jeremy Baker is set up in Rockport, and Ryan Shoptaw is staying on top of this storm here in the KENS 5 Weather Center.
Let's get on over to Ryan first for the latest on when and where Beryl will make landfall on the Texas coast.
Yeah, the big takeaway, guys, thankfully this storm is staying relatively weak. It's not strengthening or rapidly intensifying despite very warm waters and sufficient atmospheric conditions in the Gulf of Mexico. It's fighting a couple of factors. Wind shear and some dry air. Take a look at satellite imagery. Winds are at 60 miles an hour. It's moving northwest at 13, so its movement and speed hasn't changed all that much from the 10 p.m. advisory from the Hurricane Center. Zooming in, it's losing a lot of its strength despite the warm water of the Gulf of Mexico. But look on that northern side, on that last frame, we're seeing an additional burst of convection, more thunderstorm development on the northern side. That's what we're watching tonight very closely. But again, a tropical storm. It needs about 14 to 15 miles an hour or greater to reach Category 1 hurricane strength, which, by the way, the forecast cone does call for before it makes landfall Monday morning. Sometime after, let's say, 2 or 3 a.m. along the middle Texas coast. And then as it moves farther inland, weakening in strength, diminishing into a tropical storm, into a tropical depression as it moves farther northeast up I-35 and I-45. A closer look at the zoomed in forecast cone. Category 1 hurricane status around Monday morning, 3 to 4 a.m. Now, the latest advisory from the Hurricane Center has shifted it a little bit farther east. Not a huge amount, but it's zeroing in on Port Lavaca, Port O'Connor, Seadrift, and Matagorda Bay. Matter of fact, we have team weather coverage with our KENS 5 weather team. Paul Mireles is in Port Lavaca. Paul, based on that latest advisory, you are in the crosshairs of Beryl as it makes landfall sometime Monday morning. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, it looks like it, Ryan, and that's why we picked Port Lavaca. I'm here at Lighthouse Beach. Really not a bad beach at all. The waters in Lavaca Bay are really quiet. It's really been a pleasant evening. I mean, right now we've got a wind, a little bit of a tropical wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and just a nice time on the beach. This afternoon, I was looking around, and it seems like everybody here is just really taking it easy, kind of low-key, no sense of urgency at all. Matter of fact, this is what this is what they had to say.
The way I am and the way I'm not. It's one of those things that you really don't know until it gets here, and then you'll panic.
Is it really going to be in this area in Calhoun, or is it going to be more up the coast? We don't know.
Yeah, so, I talked to a couple of businesses, and as you heard from those guys, they weren't real concerned yet. But I talked to a couple of businesses, and they said that they were going to close a little early tomorrow afternoon. And really, I think a lot of folks here, I didn't see anybody boarding up, no urgency. I think what a lot of folks are waiting for here in Port Lavaca is what happens tomorrow. How much development is going to happen out there in the Gulf of Mexico? But I can tell you this, on the current track, this beach right here will be underwater with that storm surge. Of course, this is a hurricane warning area, and winds should be approaching, if not at hurricane speed, by this time tomorrow. So I hope that they don't wait too long before they take the precautions that they need to take, because right now it's pretty easy going here in Port Lavaca. Now, again, nice evening. Down the beach, though, this way, there's Jeremy Baker. And Jeremy, I'm pretty sure it's a nice evening there in Rockport as well.
Oh, it's definitely a nice evening here in Rockport, no doubt about that. I'm standing on the pier between Copano Bay, which is to my right, Aransas Bay to my left, and then Port Aransas and Mustang Island and the Gulf of Mexico, and Beryl, which of course is turning and getting a little bit closer to us. But Rockport breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. Unlike what happened 7 years ago, of course, that was the year that Hurricane Harvey decimated the town. It made landfall with 140 mile per hour winds as a Category 4. buildings destroyed, many people having to close their businesses. We saw some of those today, some even relocating. Of course, that was before Harvey dumped 60 inches of rain on Houston. This storm doesn't appear to be quite that monster, but of course, with the way the season's starting, I wouldn't put anything past Mother Nature. The city of Rockport is still urging its residents to plan, prepare, and act. Plan for dangerous wind of equivalent strong tropical storm force or higher. Prepare with efforts to protect life and property. Also act now to complete preparations before the wind becomes hazardous later tomorrow evening. Officials are also concerned about the possibility of the life-threatening storm surge, which could be as much as 3 to 5 feet, probably getting cut down just a bit with the more northern track. And the window of concern is now through Monday. Also, don't forget about the rip currents, which are also life-threatening. They'll last throughout the weekend. And people are also urged to sign up for the Code Red emergency notification system, which notifies citizens about any emergency situations. And you get a caller ID on the phone that says Code Red, and it will have a 361 area code. To sign up, all you have to do is text Aransas to 99411. And the Rockport police are also advising people that there are no official shelters here in Aransas County. So in addition to the possibility of damage, loss of power, there could be issues with emergency officials or those first responders needing to get to people that need that help during the storm on Monday. We'll have more coming up in the next half hour. Reporting live from Rockport, Jeremy Baker, KENS 5.